really like that switch. Sett right now with the extra nerfs, I think better place in the jungle or as a support role, but definitely still will function on top side in a similar manner.
Yep. There you go. We've already got past the point where they would be able to switch these things. So Sett for the top lane, Olaf for the jungle here on the side of TSM. Once again, they've got some strong scaling options for themselves when you look at the ability of Doublelift Senna to keep on stacking, building up that range. Also, Bjergsen on the Azir. We know what he can do on a carry champion like that. But over on Team Liquid, particularly because they're down 0-1 in this series, particularly because they're the ones who need to come back and even things up, they drafted themselves a lot of tools to do that with. They've got plenty of options for deciding where and when the fights are going to be on their terms. It just comes down to execution. Because not only did I prefer TSM's draft in game number 1, I think TSM just executed on the Rift better.
And the biggest thing to watch, magnifying glass on Jensen's Twisted Fate. This is the global change for Team Liquid. They want to be able to punish some of these offensive moves that TSM have been very good at setting up. In order to do that, you need to get TF some breathing room around mid lane. Bjergsen on the Azir can try and push in early, and we'll see if there's some early jungle visits. I always like, even if you're on the Twisted Fate's team, to go visit mid lane to try and get the Twisted Fate a timer to make a play with you. Broxah on this Hecarim hasn't actually found the wins yet, but I don't think it was, any real big mechanical errors or problems piloting the champion. It was more in the team executing around it.
Also want to point out here, as we're waiting for the minions to spawn, Bjergsen does have the Comet on his Azir. We generally see this when we know that the player wants to focus more on the laning presence, have some more powerful early trades, a little bit more burst on the back end of those, as opposed to going for something like a lethal tempo that provides the extra team fight strength later on in the game. So Bjergsen knows he needs to keep Jensen down. He needs to make life difficult for this Twisted Fate early on in this game, and that will be the call here for TSM. As minions are spawning, everybody's taking their places, and both junglers will once again start on the bottom half of the map.
Also keep in mind that there is going to be a significant amount of healing on the TSM composition as they start to come together. Even though it's not super apparent, Sett and Olaf, both hurt if you get Executioners versus them. Sett has really good regeneration when he gets low. Olaf, as you can see right now, with the W active, heals a lot, and then the Senna healing definitely over the course of the game will stack up. So healing reduction will be a viable stat for Team Liquid if they want to stop off and get that early on someone who can apply it easily. I generally look at it, Hecarim always wants to obviously rush towards Trinity Force first. You don't even want to spend any money upgrading your jungle item, but it's actually pretty easy for a Hecarim to stop off and get it and apply it with your Q AoE physical damage as well if your Ashe really doesn't want to stop off.
Yep, either one of the champions has the opportunity to go for it. Of course, if Hecarim does decide that it's his job to get it, that will make him very squishy when he charges in. Will require a lot of coordination from the team to make sure he's getting the maximum value out of the healing from his W. Remember on Hecarim, it's not just your own damage you're life stealing from with that W active, it's the damage of anybody on your team hurting somebody within the range of it. So lots of powerful vamp opportunities there as the junglers have both cleared their ways towards the top side here. Spica with the full-on clear, just showing off the power of the Olaf there. We know how effective this champion is at those early clears and being able to use the low health to keep them as fast as humanly possible, clearing out the last bit of the Krugs. But Broxah has decided he doesn't care about Krugs, he cares about Bjergsen. Bjergsen gets himself away, and somehow the TSM mid laner will survive.
Yeah, nice job actually getting the shield and the full distance here, flashing and jumping away. Hooked by CoreJJ into a flay.
CoreJJ starting off the 2v2 down here, getting plenty of Doublelift's HP chunked away. Tactical with a little bit of extra damage on the back end of the trade just to make sure it's a big win here for them in the 2v2.
What a high value gank from Broxah, because while he does give up a little bit of a counter invade, Spica you can see right now on the minimap in his blue quadrant, Broxah is able to just pass through mid lane, still get the bottom scuttle crab, and easily transition into farming Krugs up to Raptors. And by that time, Isgrampwev respawned anyway. So with the quicker, 2-minute respawn timers of the small camps, it's not too bad if you give up one or something like that in the early game for a super high efficiency gank. The gank onto Bjergsen getting the flash, even though they didn't get the kill, will give that breathing room that we were discussing early on. You want for
Exactly.
Twisted Fate, for Jensen. And you see him use an early teleport to get right back out there and pushing.
You gotta love the early power of the Hecarim ganks, especially when you've got the Ghost as the second summoner spell with the Smite. Combining that with the power of the charge just means that that champion comes flying at you at 200 miles per hour, and if you're not at the right angle to get away, things get real dicey real quick.
And we're still on 10-16 in playoffs. So this is before, not like live, where they reduced it, the max speed on his E down to 85%. It's still at the 100%, so you still get that really big amp on the champion. Plus, I know that people always kind of discuss between Conqueror, which is the old keystone that everybody took on Hecarim, which is still viable, still very good for longer team fights for your damage output. But I really greatly prefer the phase rush like Broxah's gone for because it allows you the in and out play style proccing that. Spica though will take a little quick stop here as he does get sighted on the dragon.
Yep, Broxah's aware of what's going on, but considering Spica does have help from Biofrost, considering this isn't Olaf, and as a Hecarim, you don't really want to be running into him just face-to-face like that. That is the first Drake of the game here secured for TSM. That's an Ocean Drake, means there won't be an Ocean Soul here in the second game like there was in the first, but TSM starting off that stacking, keeping it going from game number 1. We saw how they had that control from start to finish in that first game, making Team Liquid answer them, and you know it's got to be on Team Liquid's mind to not put themselves in that precarious position here yet again.
And since Olaf power clearing fully on track here for Spica, he's able to transition to top side. It looks like Broxah might get the top scuttle first, though, before Spica can finish up on those Krugs because he's so low health for Olaf. And it is actually not going to result in a huge experience discrepancy. Scuttle Crab super valuable here as Broxah is able to get the second one, even though Spica off of Krugs does get that level 6, does have his nice CS lead in the jungle.
Yeah, 53 to 37 means 4 camps up for the Olaf. Exactly what you want to see on this pick that is designed to excel early and fall off late. Farm in the top lane is more even than we saw in game number 1 as well. Broken Blade not playing a champion that has as much early burst and powerful trading potential as the Renekton from that first game. So things are staying very even here between these two. Also advantage for Impact up here is last time around TSM had an AD laner and an AP jungler. So the itemization was a little bit harder to ignore all the damage. Impact can just go Sunfire Cape and really tank up against both the Olaf and the Sett very effectively here. Doublelift also at 10 Senna stacks 7 minutes into the game. So halfway towards that first range upgrade.
Yeah, definitely calming down here in game number 2, given the setups. Once Olaf can get to warrior completion too, that's going to be really big for Spica. And you have this big spike before Hecarim has really put together any parts for the Trinity Force. Broxah right now is just trying to power farm.
Yep.
For me, my timer for judging people on their Hecarim early, a 14-minute Trinity Force for Hecarim is about what you're aiming for, about average. Now, if you get early kills, you should have an earlier one than that. You can actually have 13-minute Trinity Forces and completely blast games, take over. But around the 14-minute mark, since basically you don't want to waste any money stopping off and buying any other parts like your jungle item or anything, is definitely achievable and about common. I would say
just through power farming.
Yeah, I would say though, since he didn't go inspiration, a lot of people actually will go inspiration for free boots, so that you don't have to even spend that 300 gold on boots, and you can rush Trinity Force even faster. But he actually did not go inspiration. As you can see, he bought the brown bags and is on kind of a power lull with the mana crystal.
The opposite of a power spike, the power lull.
Power lull. But I actually hate buying just the mana crystal. I even would go attack speed for
the
parts
dagger
of the Stinger. Yeah, because Stinger. Stinger's so underrated. I don't know why people don't like it. I think they just don't like attack speed, even though it is decent on Hecarim.
Yeah, I never like buying the mana crystal on anything. When it comes to playing a champion that really likes Trinity Force, the sheen feels so good to get, but if you just have to buy the baseline pieces, the mana crystal's the absolute worst one. So,
and if you're power farming, a dagger actually does go a long way.
and giving you that little bit of extra attack speed. I agree. But hey, this time around, Broxah's making sure he's got the mana crystal, a little bit of an extra pull. Without a blue buff, Hecarim can have a little bit of mana issues here early on, so that will help keep him topped off. As TSM are over onto the Rift Herald now with Biofrost, Spica, and Bjergsen working together to 3-man this one. Broken Blade will head down into the river. Team Liquid not willing to give this away. Remember game number 1, this is what happened. Let's see if that also occurs here in game number 2. They've got so much damage down to Biofrost. He's going to be first blooded. TSM on the retreat, trying to get themselves away from this, and just like deja vu, Kobe, it's Team Liquid coming in saying, hey boys, thanks for the leash.
Yeah, again, Broxah can just type TY for leash, and they get the kill and the Rift Herald. This is a complete repeat. TSM started up once again, and honestly, that was 100% kill onto Biofrost before he can activate his gray skin. Look at E, they even timed the knockback from Broxah's E. So it is Ashe Arrow full stun into the death sentence, into the flay, into the kill. So 0 opening for him to activate the gray skin and delay even there. So Senna ult does come through, but he's already dead. They have to give up on the Rift Herald for a second game in a row.
Very nice early game stats here for Team Liquid as they're up almost 1,000 gold now with a Rift Herald sitting in Broxah's pocket. It is not CoreJJ that picked it up, so they don't have a limitation on where they can drop it and where they have to use it. Broxah will be able to gallop around the map, drop that off wherever it need be, wherever it can give them the most success. And considering there's still all these plates to get to work on in all of the lanes, Broxah's got his pick of the litter here, as he will find the control ward right next to his own, knock that one down there, limit the TSM vision just a little bit more, and has the Onslaught of Shadows ready to go. Goes 2. So Broxah's gank power is at maximum right now.
Meanwhile,
and now let's see that gank power come in. Broxah looking for the kill as he does a lot of damage to Biofrost, but Bio gets himself away using the flash. Didn't have the chance to use that one in the top side river. Doublelift also having to use both summoner spells. So although they won't get themselves any kills, they take a lot of resources from TSM.
Yeah, and we will see Hecarim go for a lot of ease and then kind of dipping out of the fight. And this is why I love Phase Rush so much. Because with your E charge plus your Q plus your W, like you're guaranteed to be able to go on these deep charges and have the Phase Rush proc to walk out if you need to, or continue chasing, if your team is set up to go for the kill. There, they just dip out after the Rift Herald is dropped. Dragon started up and Twist of Fate.
Here we go! Broxah into the back line, and Biofrost is in some trouble. Taken down yet again. CoreJJ grabbing the kill. Damage down to both junglers. Shots over the wall coming out onto Broxah here. Doublelift looking to finish him off. Heal comes through. Team Liquid ends up taking themselves a 1-for-0. Broken Blade tries to get away from Impact in the top lane in the meantime. TSM picking up the blue buff for themselves, but it looks like nobody's going to be looking to fight any further here on the bottom half of the map. It's another 1-for-0 here for the side of Team Liquid. Oh, 1-for-1, excuse me. Broxah did fall there at the very end.
Well, we might get a picture-in-picture, a little detective work to see what happened, because he had smited the dragon for health and walked away. Maybe we'll get a little follow-up on that story. But Dragon still alive and well, and we do have a reset for both teams. You see Spica clearing to the top side, though, so maybe it's an opportunity for Team Liquid as CoreJJ is doing the vision work in River right now to return.
Also want to point out that Broxah, we're 13 minutes into the game, so we're almost at that point that you were talking about, Kobe. Broxah with the Sheen and Phage both completed, has Dagger in inventory working towards the last part of that Trinity Force. Let's take another look at the fight now, though, see what all happened.
Okay, so CoreJJ on the ward. Spica's able to get around the initial hook. There's the ultimate in. Biofrost does get his gray health off this time, but Jensen teleporting in with Twisted Fate behind him means they're able to get it. Jensen actually flashes instead of taking the Lantern, so Broxah can then take the Lantern. He smites the Dragon for health, as we saw in the comment and heal, and we thought he was out.
Oh!
Yeah,
he got caught shopping!
That was blind, too. Just a good guess there, as they saw him leaving to that side, and Broxah was chilling in the Tri-Brush, maybe shopping as you were talking about. But here's the reset that I mentioned for Team Liquid. They were able to get it off. They still get the prize. They get the Dragon for themselves and still have a gold lead in game number 2. trying to write the course of this series.
Absolutely. Keeping those Drakes tied up will prevent some of that soul stacking, some of that TSM win condition that popped up in game number 1. TL happy to be doing that kind of work here as the minion wave is shoved up in the top side. You can see Broken Blade still working towards that Blade of the Ruined King here. With Sunfire Cape already completed for Impact, he's feeling plenty comfortable in that 1v1. Sett's not going to be killing him anytime soon. Spica hanging out in mid lane, but Jensen knows that nobody on his team is nearby to be helping him out, so he's got no interest in overextending himself.
And Broxah was able to get his Trinity Force, 14.5 minutes. He got his recall off, so a little bit delayed by getting the execution there from Doublelift, and then he had to go farm Krugs for the little bits of extra cash, so it's a very small delay. But now that he has Trinity Force, you get such a big power boost. Spica, though, is level 10.
So Broxah's level 8, and
he yoinks it.
Just tosses the axe in to grab himself a free blue buff. Broxah's all the way running away. No way you win that fight in a 1v1 against an Olaf with a 2-level advantage. And TSM has control over the top side of the TL jungle.
Yeah, 2-level advantage means your smite does more, so axe plus smite, and Spica's like, get out of my jungle, boy! Able to deny him there. They were trying to give over their blue buff, obviously, to Jensen, but there's the flash.
All right, is Impact in a good enough spot to get himself away from this? Broxah has joined the fight. Jensen has joined the fight. The cavalry has arrived from the side of Team Liquid. Broxah jumping back in with the onslaught of shadows. It's a 1-for-1 here so far, thanks to Doublelift intervening there on the bottom half of the map with the Dawning Shadow. But Team Liquid bringing CoreJJ up 2 means they're able to turn that one into a 2-for-1. They sacrifice Broxah, they get Spica and Broken Blade as kills. Jensen sticks around a little bit too long. Here comes Biofrost with the lickety-lick. However, CoreJJ is standing by with a lantern to get him away to safety.
Yep, this opens up the dark passage here, able to take the lantern out. And this is Team Liquid showing the reason for this Twisted Fate pick. As we mentioned, it's to cover a lot of these aggressive TSM plays. And here's a good example. On the minimap, you see Hecarim running up with the extra speed, waiting for Jensen to come in. And he does get the knockback into stun there onto Broken Blade. Broxah making use of the phase rush to gain some distance before charging back in with his spear. Spica does get, one kill with him, taking somebody down as Olaf tries to fight his way out, but it is still a proactive use there from Team Liquid, answering the TSM play with their global coverage.
TL now 2,500 gold ahead of TSM 17 minutes into the game. 2 minutes until our next Drake spawns. We'll see if we get a fight over that one or if either one of the teams is willing to just concede that over. Tactical and CoreJJ both on this top half of the map. Tactical still just clearing waves here in the mid lane as CoreJJ hangs out in the top side river. Just trying to get an idea of where TSM is, making sure he controls that area for his team, make sure Tactical isn't getting set up on here. Minions are colliding onto that top lane tier 1. TSM was able to push that out and then get themselves back. Broken Blade and Impact now set up in the bottom lane as things have turned upside down.
And this is going to be Rift Herald number 2, which last game we got a lot of tweets, a lot of suggestions for a second Rift Herald.
There was a bunch of them. You guys are really passionate about your Rift Herald naming.
I love the passion. TSM also are passionate about Rift Herald.
Here we go. Team Liquid's coming in yet again. TSM in some trouble. Health bars taken very, very low. Impact looking to find the hit with the ulti, but he's going to miss it on a lot. Broken Blade is stuck in the back end of the fight. Broxah's going to be taken down. Broken Blade still tanking it up, but he does finally fall. Low health bars for 5 different players of the remaining 8. Make it 6. Jensen nearly killed off here, but it's a double kill for Jensen. Giving him the power of the cards, baby. Over the wall, the damage comes through, and CoreJJ with an MVP death sentence for an extra one on the back end of the fight.
Captain America has returned indeed. He called his shot and lands his death sentence. Jensen also with the cards slicing right through Doublelift. Biofrost had lined up to devour Doublelift, but the wild cards slicing right through him, pass through damage just meant that he went down instead, and then Doublelift had to flash out on top of it. And CoreJJ fishing around for the extra death sentence over the Raptor pit wall. Team Liquid just blowing this one wide open. Captain Flowers, this will not be a one-sided series. Team Liquid have anything to say about it?
It does not appear that way, my friend. 4-kill lead, 2-turret advantage. Let's see if Tactical can get plenty of damage down onto this tier 1 here as CoreJJ shows up to help him. Broken Blade's doing what he can to clear these waves away. Nice sidestep out from the death sentence of CoreJJ. Make sure he didn't find himself in real hot water there, as Team Liquid has rallied everybody to this bottom side river, and it looks like the Cloud Drake is the call. Remember, it is a Cloud Soul this time around. That is the dream for a Hecarim player, to grab that and just be flying through the team fights. And first Cloud Drake of the game will go over to TL.
And they're still pushing on mid as well. Tactical lands the stun.
Oh, nicely done. Doublelift has no chance out of that one. The chain CC is layered perfectly, and TL grab a turret and a kill.
Yeah, imagine that. Just getting donked in the face with an Ashe arrow by your replacements. Doublelift stunned under the tower. His old lane partner death sentence him back in off of the chain stun. And Team Liquid take the tower on top of his dead body.
If Doublelift keeps disrespecting their CC like that, he talked about carrying this team for 2 years. He's going to be carrying them again by giving them this free gold and giving them the chances to take these objectives. Yeah. You've got to show respect to the power of the CC and the initiation potential of this Team Liquid squad. We talked about it in Champions Select, man. These guys have so many tools.
To be fair, Doublelift has been playing a great Senna up until this point.
Yes.
Definitely deserves being memed on for that one a little bit, though, as TL with a really nice play for themselves. And your crowd control point, once again, Flowers, is going to stay true this whole game. While TSM do have Tahm Kench, and Olaf can also ult and kind of shrug off crowd control, the damage will be done. When Tahm Kench ults someone, you lose damage outputs. It's a purely defensive saving maneuver. And since Team Liquid have so many options with crowd control, they'll just fire off another one after that and try and ride that wave of damage progression in their team fight to be able to layer the other forms of crowd control and just work their way through this TSM squad. So them drafting so many forms of it is going to be the big thing. Can TSM actually play around it? Because so far, Team Liquid have been calling all the shots.
Team Liquid really, really making those changes from game number 1, stepping up here in game number 2. As the Drake won't be live for 3 minutes. Baron is on the table. We're 21 minutes into the game. Got to keep stock of what's worth fighting over here in this one. The Ornn items are now online for Impact 2. Level 13 means upgraded Abyssal Mask, upgraded Sunfire Cape, 3,000 gold's worth of value, all for free. You can't beat that. And now that he just ticks level 14, all he has to do is meet up with his allies, and he can start enchanting their items as well. TF ulti has been used. Jensen and Impact working together for the 2v1 against Broken Blade, who goes for the ulti, trying to get himself away. But gallop, here comes the horse. Jensen is on a rampage, but a nice catch to CoreJJ comes out from TSM as a response.
And TSM do get a kill back here finally in one of the responses, but still holds true for Team Liquid. Jensen on Twisted Fate. He has 16 pages in his Medjais now. He's writing more tweets in that book, Flowers, about how he thinks TSM and Bjergsen are overrated. He was like, they're a good team, but not nearly as good as Reddit thinks they are. And he's trying to prove his point in this one. Now we get to see how will he play these side lanes. Because he does play a lot of side lane champions, you know, obviously famous Echo, his Twisted Fate, he's played a bunch this split. So it should be up to Team Liquid now to continue to work off these cooldowns from Jensen. Now he's got his rapid fire cannon for even longer range stuns with the gold card. And as you see here, super long range set up from Impact. He got the slow, he got the knock up afterwards. And with everybody turning over there, Team Liquid get a clean pick. Other side of the replay though, it is TSM stunning up, locking down with the snare on CoreJJ, and getting a counter kill. So TSM, they also have warded off the possibility of a super early soul by yoinking the Ocean one for themselves. And it's going to be up to them trying to set up, for one of these picks for themselves.
Nice hook from CoreJJ. Nice follow-up coming through from Broxah. Not quite enough damage to finish off Bjergsen there. They tried to go for it. They saw the opportunity on the enemy mid laner. Bjergsen down to 1/4 HP, but he will survive and be able to heal up before this next Drake spawns.
All right, Team Liquid should be able to retain control. You push all 3 lanes. You've got 1-3-1. Even though Ornn in the side lane isn't gonna, put pressure on the Sett, he doesn't really have to put a lot of pressure. He's super tanky with the double upgraded Ornn items, and he can just hold there while Jensen is able to push on the other side. And the 3-person squad of CoreJJ, Tactical, and Broxah are extremely safe while also having a lot of offensive potential for those picks.
Spica finding himself knocked up into the air there by the quick combo of Impact. However, nobody else is going to try to initiate onto an Olaf, so he knows he doesn't have to use any big cooldowns to walk away from it. Team Liquid with control over the river, priority over the Drake pit. Drake spawning in 4.
See if they can move in to clear out this vision. 2 hits on that control ward, but TSM are in.
Now Spica will take a little bit of damage here as the Impact ulti goes through. Broken Blade to the back line. However, Jensen separated a little bit here from the rest of the team. Spica ulti was used, Broken Blade ulti was used, and with those expended, TSM are making the call. Surrender the Drake. The fight is not worth it. It's not soul just yet, but this does bring Team Liquid to soul point.
Yeah, you see the mistake there. It's really, really uncoordinated from TSM. They get Spica kind of running backwards while Broken Blade ults the Ornn. Ornn is a great target to ult with all the bonus health that he gets from bonus stats from Ornn upgraded items, but you need to ult him into the rest of Team Liquid to get your damage, get that slowdown and set up your team. If you ult him just further away in the river, there's no way TSM could win that fight, so they quickly have to call off any possibility of fighting that. As you're saying, that's not the one that gives over the soul, so you know, that's not going to be the big burst of power. I will say that Cloud Drakes are pretty nice with this team for Team Liquid, with you know, ultimate cooldowns being very effective for them in creating picks for themselves. But
yes, sir.
TSM, you don't want to give over any kills in that fight because there's no way you're going to win that after the way that they actually opened it with their frontline positioning.
Now the name of the game is Baron. Now that's the only objective here on the map for the next 4.
Would you say Red Bull Baron?
Oh, yes, sir. I believe we're going to have to get awfully energized as these teams go for this one, because these boys know that this thing could very well lock it in for Team Liquid or turn the tides here for TSM if they're able to make a big play and catch TL in a bad spot around this big objective. Team Liquid are looking to secure the area with some nice vision control here early on. CoreJJ, he gets some good CC down onto Spica, who does pop the ulti to get away, but a bit of miscommunication there. Biofrost was nearby with the Devour, but Spica, not thinking about that, ends up using his ulti too.
Yeah, honestly, it looked like, because it was so late, it looked like Spica just ulted out of Biofrost's stomach. He's like, get me out of here! I don't wanna
Busted
get
out of the Tahm Kench.
It's nasty in here. Tahm Kench's belly?
Oh, he ate Taco Bell for lunch. I don't want to be in here. Get me out.
All right, Team Liquid going to push on in, though. Control wards deep, setting up for their Baron baits. They've got just so many options. It really feels like they're holding all the cards in this game number 2. Can TSM then pull a rabbit out of the hat? Broken Blade, stacking Conquer.
Yep, very strong here in this 1v1 because he has the Blade of the Ruined King plus the Black Cleaver. He's chopping through health and armor, but Impact! The Mage, Bruiser, Fighter, Assassin, DPS, Support, Tank, Frontline, Backline, Carry gets the kill in the 1v1 and then gets shot from across the map for the 1-for-1 from Doublelift.
Oh, man, that was an entertaining 1v1, Flowers. Under the tower. So Broken Blade, he tried to, you could see Facebreaker Impact out of the second activation of the ultimate, but didn't quite get it there. So since Impact still had the timing to get the ultimate off, and to be fair, it's pretty hard to get that timing perfect to deny Ornn the second activation. Impact gets it with a sliver of health, and the Senna ultimate wasn't there in time for, you know, shield and damage. He did, however, calibrate the accuracy to snipe the kill for himself and get the answer.
That's what it's all about right there. But let's go ahead and take a look at your Honda performance play and how Impact turned this around.
Yeah, you think like Broken Blade's like, yo, Senna ult now, I'm going for the dive on this guy. He Facebreakers him in, but look at that. The little knockback ends right before the ramp comes through. Impact gets to give him the thumbs down. Haha, I got him. Celebration time. Ah, shucks.
Darn. Get him next time.
Dang, nabbit, they got me this time.
Oh, I love how spicy this series is turning out so far, my friend. We still got a 5,000 gold lead here for Team Liquid, which is actually more than it seems thanks to the Ornn items coming through here. Impact does have the ability to give another one over. probably was saving that until Tactical had the Infinity Edge completed to upgrade it to a Molten Edge. A lot of players would prefer that upgrade over the one to Blade of the Ruined King, so probably going to see him give that over to Tactical as soon as he is within range of him. Of course, Impact on the other end of the map right now means it will take a little bit, and Impact is now level 16 as well, as TSM finds an axe onto Tactical. Broken Blade coming in from the side, but he will be knocked away by Broxah. Arrow's not going to find the mark, and Impact has joined up with the rest of Team Liquid. Turret raised in mid lane by Bjergsen now as an extra point of defense to make sure TL doesn't take this any further.
So Broken Blade does have teleport here, but because TSM have been corralled this whole game, because Team Liquid have been playing the early game so well and have this control, there's no deep ward for him to teleport on. And Sett is one of the champions that benefits most from super deep teleport wards, so you can get that perfect angle on your opponents for the showstopper. So he's just going to walk back out to the field. But TSM do accomplish their goal of getting teleport and Twisted Fate ultimate burned from Team Liquid, forcing them to group up.
A little bit of stun there onto Spica, but won't go much further than that. Team Liquid know that Jensen is severely injured. He's got to go home. He's got to get back to this fight ASAP. TSM have control over the Drake. With Jensen going home, they see the opportunity to go after this, start it up, and try to steal away that soul. TL are conceding this objective. They're saying, all right, we don't need the soul right now anyway. Instead, they're heading over to Baron, rushing towards that, as TSM will now have to haul themselves over there. Bjergsen did take a stop off there to pick up the blue buff for himself. TSM do need to respond to this because Baron is dropping rapidly. TL firing off the arrow towards Spica to make sure it's harder for him to get in there, and TL have secured Baron for themselves. Now they're trying to disengage. CoreJJ stepping forward for the hook, grabbing some damage down to Broken Blade. He's going to be killed before we can do much of anything about it, and TL have Baron +1. TSM trying to kite themselves back, trying to maybe put a bad spot here for Team Liquid to try to rush into. Ulti from Spica to stop himself from being chain CC'd after the gold card so he can continue to run away. Jensen looking for more of those gold cards, more of those stuns. Bjergsen and the rest of TSM have nothing to do but run, and Team Liquid make this play work.
And TSM suffering a little bit from the sunk cost fallacy there. They go to the Baron late after the roar goes out, and Team Liquid already have Baron with the extra stats for themselves. Then TSM run into the river, and Broken Blade gets hooked in for the extra kill for Team Liquid. Team Liquid were going to reset, but because they get that extra kill, they can push in immediately, taking down the towers. Still, there is a teleport on Broken Blade, though. That's why TSM are chasing.
TSM looking for the chance to go in on this 5v4. Can Broken Blade actually get in there in time? He's running so damn fast, Kobe. He wants to find his way to the back line, wants to find the way out of everybody. Tactical going to be killed now. Team Liquid looking to get themselves away. Nice CC coming through from Doublelift. Impact looking to knock the ulti right back through the TSM lines. Bjergsen's in some trouble. Turret shots coming through. The Emperor has fallen. Shurima be damned. Team Liquid, they lost 2, but they killed 2 in return. TSM were able to find something off the back end of the fight, but now it's Jensen using the ulti to get himself into the bottom lane to continue the Baron push.
Yeah, he got that cannon minion pushed up, and now he's gonna get killed.
Jensen, what the hell are you doing, man? That was not worth pushing a wave up. TSM with a very nice punish.
He was really riding high after that dive from TSM. It was like, all right, we got to keep the pressure up, push it in, Baron buff. I'm going to get this cannon minion wave on the side lane, and boom, Tahm, Kench ultimate, Biofrost, able to find it. Rank 2 is plenty of distance to be able to get behind him. So in the end, TSM do get an extra kill and another Baron buff. And that is one of the important Baron buffs. The Twisted Fate, the main split pusher here for Team Liquid. So counting your blessings for TSM, even though they're so far behind, they did get given a little back there. Broken Blade, though, here's the replay. He got a great face breaker, then tries to ult Impact into the back of the team, which he actually survives for a long time. The dive there by Bjergsen slides in, then flashes, and Jensen gives him a what the hell, bruv? Yeah, maybe he's writing down that timing for later, but then it's a what the hell, bruv, from Jensen. He's like, all right, I forgot about your global. Touche, sir, touche. Twisted Fate has a global of his own, but so does Biofrost.
Both mid laners having a little bit of a head scratcher there, but That happens sometimes in League of Legends. Just got to get yourself back in the zone, back ready to deal with what situation you have before you, as it is still an 8,000 gold lead for Team Liquid. They're still on Soul Point, and the Ornn upgrades keep on coming through. They're going after Broken Blade here, starting to fight onto him, but that's a very tanky man you're trying to find some sort of a pick onto. Jensen running in there with the gold card, with the rapid fire cannon, won't really get a chance to do much with it. Wildcard still putting some good dents in the health bar of Broken Blade here. You can see that Impact has the ability to upgrade that Death Cap to the Death Crown. There you go. That is now Ornn items on every single person except CoreJJ once again, because he doesn't have an upgradable Ornn item just yet, so can't upgrade it if it doesn't exist. And Team Liquid have TSM stuck in their base.
The Ornn paradox. Can't upgrade the item if it does not exist. It will probably be a locket there coming pretty quickly for him for some extra team fight shielding coming through. Team Liquid, though, they still, with middle open, can actually, oh, they're going for a reset. No, Jensen's going back to base. No Twisted Fate ultimate means they give up on the pressure in favor of a reset for this Soul. I like the call. They'd rather get the reset here and try and put some pressure on TSM.
Impact turning things around here as TSM try to engage. Broxah's going to keep the rest of TSM occupied. Broken Blade is already killed. Now Impact still has the ulti to keep this train a-rolling as the damage pours through into Bjergsen. Tactical grabs himself a double kill. Who needs a soul when you can take a Nexus? Team Liquid continuing to chase the remaining players of TSM. Jensen's wildcards deal so much damage. He'll continue tossing those out as Impact leads the charge. Team Liquid is in the TSM base. They've got the minions coming up behind them, and they have a 5v2 for the next 25 seconds. Barring some sort of a major error, this is game right here. They're going after the remaining two players. Doublelift has no QSS. The Nexus turret's under fire. Team Liquid hits back. They're tying this series up 1-1.
GG for Team Liquid. They actually control this one. Great draft adaptation. They put Jensen back on the Twisted Fate, which they utilized